This is your 20-minute podcast where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Welcome to your 20-minute podcast, where it's nice to have you back. And our special guest today is Tasha M Scott. And Tasha is a success connector. She helps women to connect with their true path to success through her speaking, coaching, and writing. She empowers women in business to unleash and connect with their God-given purpose and identity. She's a wife, mom, the founder of the Don't Limit Me and Women Connect movements. And she owns 2 thriving businesses, plus she's a published author, and she never sleeps. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I have good help that just makes me look really good.
I understand that. Delegate, delegate, delegate.
Yes.
Well, that's good. It's good. It's very nice to talk to you. I've been very impressed and very interested in looking at your website and reading about you. And anything that has the words God-given purpose, I'm really curious about all that stuff. So
awesome.
That's kind of who I am as well. So tell me about you. How did you get started in the wife's easy, the mom's easy, but how about the easy? Nice, easy for me to say. But how about all the other stuff? What was your epiphany to get all this great stuff moving?
Sure. I always like to tell people I feel like I was born to be an entrepreneur. Had a paper route when I was in the 8th grade. But fast forward, I got into court reporting when I really felt like I reached the ceiling for where I could go in my paralegal career. And things were going really good. Started that first year, had a mission. But what happened during that time while my business was succeeding and growing, my personal life was falling apart. So when I reached out for help with a life coach, I really discovered a new purpose, and that was helping women overcome in some of the same areas that I struggled in myself.
Well, and isn't that usually the key? I mean, we go through these struggles and these challenges and these life's obstacles so that at one point we could go, oh, I can help these people do this because I've lived through it.
Absolutely. And I think that was the full circle moment for me, that I realized that my overcoming wasn't just about me overcoming
Yeah.
It was full circle, that my fulfillment came when I knew I could turn around and help another woman overcome too.
So how do you public speak, I assume?
Yes.
You have books, you have all these opportunities for women to reach out to you. How do you reach out to them?
I do it in my local community. I used to do what I call connection meetings, and I still do. We have one called Ladies Who Lunch, where we meet the first Thursday of every month. So I host specific events where I wanted to make it like a safe community for women to come and just celebrate each other, not compete, not compare. And then in the online space, I have a Facebook community called Connected Women Win. And I just believe that women, we have men too. I'm not discriminating,
right?
But I believe that there's so much treasure on the inside of us that if we could stop comparing ourselves long enough, we really could understand that we're like pieces of a puzzle, that when we connect, we can be so much stronger.
Boy, compare and compete. Those are 2 of the challenging words in most everybody's life these days, huh?
It is. And it holds us back, from progressing. It holds us back from our true potential.
So how do you get a woman's attention? I mean, maybe you're in a one-on-one, maybe you're in your lunch group. Do they have the sense that when you get together, it is a small, intimate group, that it's confidentiality, that they can really kind of share openly and help with their growth that way?
Yes, and I lead by example. So when I started sharing my own personal story, the good, bad, and the ugly, when I started sharing it, when I took off my mask, what happened, and I didn't plan for this to happen, but women started saying, I'm wearing a mask. Can you help me? You have a freedom that I crave and desire. Can you help me get free? And that's literally how the speaking and the coaching started. It literally started from me just having everyday conversations. Even my friends started noticing there was something different about the way I talked and even my whole perspective on life. So that's how it was started.
What a gift, huh?
Yeah. I tell everybody now, I didn't know that this was going to be on the other side of the mask.
There you go. There you go. Well, and who does? I mean, who
No.
knows? First of all, I would assume that acknowledging that there is a mask,
hmm
and then the surprises and the epiphanies that come when you get to the other side of the mask, has got to be just life changing for a lot of people you touch.
Absolutely. And so that's how the women feel comfortable enough because they know I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to criticize them because I can't, you
Right?
know?
Right?
So I empathize with them more than anything.
So you've written a couple of books, Don't Limit Me and Maximize Your Existence. Tell me a little bit about those and how those have touched people.
Sure. The first one, Don't Limit Me, literally came from my own journaling process. My life coach challenged me to get my thoughts out of me on paper so that I would stop stuffing my emotions. And at some point in my 6 month coaching, I turned to her and I said, I feel like I have a book here. I feel like I need to share this story. The words Don't Limit Me literally came from me standing in a mirror one day, pointing a finger at myself, saying, Tasha, don't limit me, because I realized I was the only one who could hold me back. Because even God Himself gives us promises and purpose, but we still have to say yes.
Absolutely.
So that was all about giving yourself permission to live the life that God designed for us to have. And then Maximize Your Existence, my most recent book came because, with freedom, there's a cost to be free, And so what I realized was that I still have to maintain that freedom. And at any point in time, if I don't put God first, if I don't keep giving myself permission, that I could always have the potential to go backwards. And so one day I just had this aha moment and I said, you know what? And it was talking in a conversation with someone. I said, I need to maximize who I am. Instead of shrinking back, I need to go the whole opposite direction because that's what brings glory to God when we own who we are in Him.
Boy, isn't that the truth? I remember it wasn't that long ago. I've been doing voiceover work full time since 2008, but I also do some
hmm
marketing for an automotive group, and so I was getting ready to retire from that group and just go full time in my voiceover, and
hmm
and I hadn't given that up. I hadn't faced my fears yet, and I didn't know that. I didn't know I'd gotten to
Right.
that place. And all of a
Right.
sudden one day, God just said, "Hey, stupid, go." And my wife says, "Wow, you finally faced your fears. That's awesome."
Yes. Yes.
And then it was like this earth-changing moment, life-changing moment, and I just gave myself goosebumps on that one because that stuff's
Yes.
really powerful when you can get past the mask.
Yes, yes. And I tell people all the time, do it afraid because when you do it afraid, your clarity is going to come. Everything's going to come by you going through it instead of sitting back waiting on the fear to go away.
You got to take a leap of faith at some point, don't you?
You have to. You have to. And we have to. It's not even in our own strength. We have to rely on God. He gave us the vision, but
Right.
then we have to rely on Him to do it. So when we face our fears and do it afraid, what we're really saying is, God, I surrender to you because I know if you called me to do this, you'll give me the strength and the power to do it.
Absolutely right. Could not agree more. You also have a popular video blog, contains useful instruction and guidance. And how does a video blog work? I keep up a blog from time to time, but I haven't even seen a video blog, I don't think.
I use two popular tools, Periscope and Facebook Live.
Okay.
And when I do I'm the type of person, I talk out my thoughts and everything. So when I do it on video, it gives me the live interaction with the audience. And then what I do is I take the video and actually post it on my blog. So my blog is a combination between videos and written words.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some of my friends use Periscope and really enjoy that. Do you find one better than the other, or are they just different tools?
Different tools. Some people are on both. I will say I started on Periscope first. And you asked a question earlier, how am I getting people finding me?
Right.
I found me doing Periscope, I had a lot of people coming out of the woodworks from all over the United States and other countries just resonating with the story. It was the
Wow.
4th of July a couple of years ago that I just went on there and I said, I'm not trying to perform. I'm just going to share my story.
Yeah.
And from there, literally, I started getting coaching clients, started getting speaking engagements, started getting introduced to a whole new audience just from being honest on
Wow.
Periscope.
Authenticity is something that I hope we all strive for, but it's sure tough to get to some days, isn't it?
It is, because you still, in the back of your mind, you have that thing of, will people accept me or will they reject me? All those thoughts.
Yep. So you have a couple of thriving businesses as well, Scott Real Time Reporting LLC and TashaMScott.com. So
hmm
tell me about those.
Sure. Scott Real Time Reporting is the court reporting business. My specialty in the industry is I provide captioning for deaf and hard of hearing students in the college or government agency settings. And I have an awesome team of subcontractors and virtual assistant that help me. My clients are colleges, and we pretty much provide that service remotely and on site. And this year, I'm going on 13 years with that
Wow.
business. And then the other one, Tasha M Scott, that one is 3 years old. That was literally when I launched Don't Limit Me for the first time. And it was at an Alabama Court Reporters Convention. That was my first kickoff of doing that amongst my
Wow.
peers. And from there, word of mouth just started forming. So I've been able to speak in conferences, churches, business settings. And the cool thing about that is me maximizing my existence. I haven't had to compromise my faith or water down my message, no matter whether it's a business audience or a church audience.
That's terrific. I mean, to be able to be authentic, true to yourself, honor God, and just step out. I mean, people have to respond to
hmm
that. I mean, it's here I am. You're transparent, and they're going to respond to that.
Yes, and I've seen so many lives change, and I give all glory to
Yeah.
God on that, because I feel like I am a vessel that He's using to help wake, especially women, but to help wake them up to who they are.
Now, you do some stuff with us guys too, right?
I do. When I do speaking engagements, I do have mixed audiences. When I go in, I make sure I talk to everybody. you know, I do. Because I think this is a universal message. I don't think it's just a woman's message. But I will say that women are near and dear to my heart. I guess because me being a wife and a mom, I get it a
Right.
little bit more. And my husband he's mentored guys and talk to men too. He's not doing it from the coaching standpoint, but I feel like both of us are a dynamic duo together.
What a gift. Wow.
hmm
So on your website, it says you show people how to cultivate connections, embrace identity, and take massive action.
Yes.
So tell me about that. What is that? I mean, I understand the cultivate connections and embrace identity. I'm not sure about the massive action. How do those three tie together?
Well, cultivate connection is we are made for and wired for connection. We are no man or woman is an island. We need other people because like iron sharpens irons, our strength match with somebody else's strength means that we all win together. Embrace identity means that while you're connecting with people, you still have to understand you are unique, you're an individual, and you have gifts and talents that maybe somebody else doesn't have, but you have to embrace your own identity, going back to that comparison and
Right,
competing thing we
right.
talked about. And once we have the right connections and we know who we are, taking massive action is all about productivity. Like we can get a whole lot more done when we have those first two in place. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people that say, I know I'm supposed to do something, or I even know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't know what the next step is, or I'm scared. Just like we talked about, what I tell them is if you can just stop trying to, make it all perfect and just start.
Yeah. Fear is a fear is an amazing inhibitor. I mean, it's a real deal in
hmm
on all phases of life, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. But I call fear a bully.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's a bully that'll back you in a corner and tell you, now you stay
Yeah.
here. But I say we have to rebel against that.
Yeah, I ain't doing no timeout with you, Fear. I'm good. So let me ask you a question. Sometimes when, and this is my own experience, and I'm sure others that I have shared this with me before, when you go to a convention, you go hear a speaker, and like yourself, and you get all amped up, and you get all this juice and all this information, and then you walk away, and
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, there's only about 15% of it that's kind of stuck in your head. So how do
Right.
people get back into that place with you once they've been amped up?
I always offer a way for them to stay connected if they're ready to take that leap of faith or that
Hmm.
next step. I That's where my coaching comes in play, and that's a lot of the life coaching with a spiritual foundation. And I also have a group which I call this my it's called Women Connect Success Club. But I have two different options for women, and a lot of the women I come in contact with have a desire for business and sometimes ministry. And what I do is provide an option for either one of them to take the journey with me so that they can rise up and be who they're supposed to be. And I give them practical strategies and tools.
Awesome. So you minister, really?
I do. I do. And I ran from that for a long time. I did because I didn't want to come across as being religious or anything like that. I grew
Yeah.
up in the church. My dad was a,
Okay.
a pastor. And that was part of me embracing my identity was to say, I can't separate my faith from who I am and what I do.
Absolutely right. And at the same token, you got to figure out a way to become your own person and follow your own journey, huh?
hmm That's right. That's right. And I realized that my business is my ministry, and it doesn't look like the traditional in the church. Like I'm not called to the pulpit, but I do feel called to the marketplace.
No question about it. No question about it. So, how can people get in touch with you and find out more information and hopefully experience some life-changing moments with you?
Sure. They can definitely go to my website, which is tashamscott.com. On my site, you can follow my blog. And I also, if you scroll down, I do have a free ebook that anybody can have access to. It's called From Chaos to Clarity, and it's how to regain focus even if you've lost hope.
Wow.
And they can also reach out to me. I'm on social media. My handle is at Coach Tasha Scott, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Very good. Very good. And folks, be careful when you go to the website. Make sure you put the M in there, Tasha M Scott.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll get an attorney.
Yes. There's a lot of Tasha Scotts.
There was. I noticed that on Skype when I was looking for your name. I'm going, what the heck? There was like 6 that were Tasha M Scotts, and I'm going,
Yes.
that's just craziness right there. So,
Yes.
well, God bless you. This has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much, David, for having me.
You bet. You've been listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower and our special guest, Tasha M Scott. And be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/your 20-minute podcast.
Until next time, don't forget to download your free audiobook at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. That's audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast for your free audiobook. And thanks for listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower.